when you start to invest in yourself, really, and in your business and in your professional development, your personal development, you start spending money on joining masterminds. And I don't know, for me, it was seeing a therapist. Then when I turn around and say, my rates are 200. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Female Empowered. I'm trying to get my setup all done. I'm your host, Krista Gurka. And today we are going to be talking about a topic that I feel like I talk about a lot. I feel like people ask this question a lot. There's a lot of mindset stuff and other experiences that you've grown up with that are linked to why people feel so uncomfortable about this topic. But I'm going to kind of give you 5 signs, 5 reasons, 5 ways that it's time to increase your prices. And not only am I going to give you 5 signs, but now I'm going to tell you some tips that we use, or that I use specifically in our studios, to make the transition as simple as possible. Now, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Okay. So people really, really, really are uncomfortable raising prices. Now, here's what I'll tell you about that. And this is something that I've learned just in, being in business for the last 12 dozen plus years. All right. When I first started out too, I hated talking about pricing. I came from a model that was, being in a physical therapy clinic where we were really helping people. And I was in this mindset of you can either help people or make money. And it was different because I was in an insurance-based setting. And so it wasn't really the people paying the money. So there's all this mindset stuff wrapped up in it. So I see this much, much, much more in newer business owners. And when I mean newer, meaning they have just started their business within the last 5 years, and they really haven't done a ton of either business training, professional development, personal development. And I say that because when you start to invest in yourself, really, and in your business and in your professional development, your personal development, you start spending money on joining masterminds. And I don't know, for me, it was seeing a therapist. Then when I turn around and say, my rates are $250 an hour, I don't feel the cringe as bad, because I know how much time, effort, energy, and money I have put into myself. And I am confident that I can help these people, whether it be in, athletes coming to me for Pilates to try to improve their performance, whether it's a patient coming to me because they have back pain and they really want to be able to do all of the things they want to do without surgery, whether it's a business owner, a female entrepreneur in boutique health and wellness that's looking to streamline and systematize their business. I know, I am confident now in my skills to provide value to the person that is seeking out my help. And I'm also confident enough that if I cannot help them, I will refer them to someone who I believe can. All right. So I don't know if this comes with, again, just also more experience, because I feel like I was always kind of confident in my physical therapy skills. I just didn't boast about them. And then the more confident I've gotten, the more I've been around other high achievers, and the more I've become okay with saying, you know what, I am a really good physical therapist, and I know that I can help this person with whatever their goal is. I am a really good business mentor for certain things. I mean, obviously, because I've created an 8-figure business from the ground up without investor capital by myself. Well, not by myself, I'm the sole owner of my company, meaning now I have a team of people that help me, but I was in every phase of business, where I was a side hustle, then I went in full time, then I had literally no idea what I was doing. I was throwing spaghetti against the wall. So when we first start out, it's really uncomfortable, that whole thing of increasing your prices. But here's what I'm going to tell you. You can serve people, you can help people and make money. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everything we do, for the most part in life, where we're trading services, is there is some sort of currency going back and forth. Now it is money for some of us. Some, maybe years ago it was, I'll trade you this cow for your chickens. Okay. So if you have something of value that I could use, I am going to pay you for that. All right. And it's the same thing when we turn around and we say this to our customers. I have something of value that these customers need, and they are going to pay me for that. It's their choice. And so now what we want to try to do is, if you're struggling with whether or not to increase your prices, and I think this is a timely time to air this podcast, because most people start to think about it towards the end of the year and going into the new year. Although I'm here to tell you, you can raise your prices whenever you want. You could raise your prices 3 or 4 times a year if you want to. Okay. So let's get into it now. Okay. Here are 5 signs that it's time to increase your prices. Number 1, your schedule is full or at 80 to 90% capacity. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are full, like regardless of your capacity. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you have 40 hours full of client care or patient care or teaching classes on your schedule. What I mean is that your capacity is full. So in other words, if you want to see 12 people and you have 12 people on your schedule, because that's your mental, emotional, energetic capacity, and you have 12 people on your schedule and maybe even a waiting list, it is now time to increase your prices. That is a sign that people are willing to pay you for your services. And so now this is a time that you can increase your prices, whether you increase them for the people that are already on your schedule or new people coming in, or give people options to go into a membership type model with you. But if your schedule is full, and certainly if your studio's schedule is full and there's a wait list and there's people waiting to get in, that's a sign that you're ready to increase your prices. Okay. Sign number 2. This kind of goes hand in hand with sign number 1. You're getting burnt out and exhausted. So if you are at, let's say 20 hours, if your schedule, your energetic capacity, your time capacity is 20, I usually call them revenue generating hours. So in other words, that's direct client care, whether you're treating a patient, whether you're teaching a class, whether you're doing a one-on-one fitness session, whether you're doing a massage. So 20 hours, okay, and you are burnt out and exhausted from that 20 hours, then it's time to say, okay, I'm going to increase my prices, and 2 things will happen. Either you'll be able to work 15 hours for the same amount of money that you worked 20 hours for previously, or you will continue to work 20 hours, but you're getting paid more, which may make you feel better. Sometimes it's not about the money. Like, you can be so burnt out that even if you doubled your income, it may not be about the money. Everyone's a little different in that. But let me give you the example of how you can go from 20 to 15. So just for even numbers, let's say you charge $100 an hour at 20 hours a week. Okay, you're at $2,000, right? Now, if you go to $125, right? Even if you lose 5 people, okay, or 5 visits, let's say, right? You're going to still make $1,900, around $1,900, but you're going to work 5 hours less. So you're only $100 off, but you're working 5 hours less. Okay. Or if you said, like, maybe you missed 4 visits, if you go up to 125, then let's say you have 16 visits a week, you'll be exactly at $2,000. So now you get 4 hours of your time back. So either time is currency also, right? So you either get 4 hours of your time back, but you still make the same amount of money, Or if you go to 125 and you keep all of those 20 visits, now you're going to make, I'm going to have to do this with a calculator, 25, you're making $500 more. Okay. Which over the course of a year, let's see, 500, let's just say out of 50 weeks, because maybe take a couple weeks off, that's $25,000 over the course of the year. Okay. So that's the first two reasons, the first two signs that it's time to increase your prices. Now, sign number 3, this is a big one. You are attracting problem or difficult clients. These are the kind of clients that suck the life out of you. I think I've told this story once that I literally told a patient, I remember this vividly. I said that he was going to be my mitzvah in life, that he was my mitzvah. He was going to be my stairway to heaven. If you know what a mitzvah is, it's like a good deed. So he was going to be my stairway to heaven because literally working with him was so difficult. And I think I told him one time, I think you're sucking the life out of me, because he was so difficult. Now, at this point, I was working in an insurance-based setting, so I really didn't have the ability to change my pricing. But if you are attracting the wrong kind of people, meaning they are headaches to work with. We all know these type of people. I don't really need to describe them. They're just like, it's not even high maintenance. It's just, they are super difficult to work with. They're always complaining. Maybe they're always late or they're always canceling. Obviously, or another one is they don't listen to your expertise. So how many times have we had, I used to have this client one time that was a Pilates client, and every time he came in, he's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't want to do that. And he was paying my rate. And I was saying to him at one point, I said, you're wasting your money and you're wasting my time, because you are not allowing me to use my expertise to help you. And I wasn't trying to get him to do walkovers on the Cadillac or anything. I literally was trying to get him to do, I think, a shoulder exercise. Right? So anyways, if you're attracting problem or difficult clients, that could be a sign that it's time to raise your prices, because usually problem or difficult clients, usually not all the time, they will go away, right? If they don't see the value in it, right? So if you're at a price point that's too low, you're going to have all of these people that really don't value what it is that you offer them. All right. So one way to differentiate yourself is to set yourself up as the expert, the value driver in this industry. And so you're going to start to attract people that really align with you. Okay. Sign number 4, a significant portion of your expenses has gone up. Okay. Or have gone up. This is very, very integral to really what's happening right now. Okay. I think I said this in another podcast, and I can't remember what I did literally 30 seconds ago. So we recently were looking at our numbers, and we were seeing, like, why is our net margin, which means the net operating income, the money we get left over after we pay everything, going down, even though our revenue is going up. And what we looked at was so many of our expenses went up, including the biggest one was our utilities. So our electric bill went up 38%. 38%. The cost of everything that we use in the studio, equipment, the cleaning services went up, groceries went up. So every time we order from Amazon or Office Depot and we order supplies for the studio, everything has gone up. And so for that reason, that is a reason, if your expenses go up, you have to increase your revenue in order to meet those expenses. Okay, so gas has gone up, utilities have gone up, groceries have gone up. I think like things in the grocery store now, I mean, this is crazy, but I just came back from North Carolina. My mom is a big smoker, and she was asking me to buy her a pack of cigarettes. I know it's crazy. It's crazy to me that she still smokes. But anyways, I went to buy cigarettes. They were $9 for a pack of cigarettes. Now I know that's a whole other thing of like, cigarette tax is terrible, but $9, a cup of coffee at Starbucks costs $6 if you get a latte. So that's a lot of money. I got a smoothie. It was $12 for a smoothie. So when a significant portion of your expenses goes up, your taxes, the amount you have to pay for insurance, all of that stuff, your prices should go up accordingly. All right. That's how business works. Supply and demand. That's how the prices of groceries and utilities and everything go up. Right. And so it trickles down. The cost of labor has gone up significantly. So now this has to get passed down somewhere. And so the way to do that is to increase our prices so that we have enough left over in the bank to continue to fund the business. And so your business remains financially solvent. Okay. And sign number 5, and this is one I love the most, because you want to increase your prices. If you want to increase your prices, increase your prices. And like I said, you can do this 4 or 5 times a year if you want to. All right. So let me just review the signs again that it's time to increase your prices. So number 1, your schedule is full or almost full. Okay. You're getting burnt out and exhausted. You are attracting problem or difficult clients into your stratosphere. A significant portion of your expenses have increased. And number 5, you want to increase your prices. You're ready for whatever reason that is. You don't need permission from anybody. You just certainly don't need permission from me. But if you're looking for permission, I grant you that permission, but you don't need it, right? You can do this if you want to. All right. So now let's go ahead and get into some tips that I recommend or we teach in our Beyond the Movement programs so that business owners can feel a little bit more comfortable with it. Okay. Now, tip number 1 that I recommend is call it when you're going to announce it, because that's another question we get all the time. How do you go about announcing it? Well, if you're going to announce it, you call them studio updates or pricing updates rather than pricing increases. Okay. They're just updates. Here's notice of our pricing updates beginning November 1st. Please make note of our studio updates going into effect October 28th. Okay, so we call them updates, rate updates, studio updates, clinic updates, pricing updates, whatever you'd like. Okay, if you're going to be updating a few other things, maybe a cancellation policy or stuff like that, just call them clinic updates, business updates. Number 2, a tip that we recommend is rather than send all these new rates and all of this stuff in an email or a social post, create a landing page, a unique URL, a unique landing page on your website that has all of the updated pricing, right? Let's get into calling it updated pricing. And then use that link wherever you're going to announce it. So you could leave it at the front desk. You can create a QR code with that link. Okay, so I'm a big QR code person now because it saves you a lot of printing, but you can create a QR code that has a little sign that says, and you can do this in Canva now, super easy, that says, please make note of our studio updates going into effect November 1st. You could have it at your front desk or in the bathrooms. I love putting signs in the bathrooms, okay, by the water fountains. And then the person will just, scan the QR code and they'll go directly to that landing page. Or if you're sending out a monthly newsletter or an email, you can say at the bottom of the email with a little asterisk, or please make note of our upcoming studio updates to be into effect that are going into effect November 1st. And then they click on the link that takes them to all the pricing or whatever other updates. Okay. This way, when people say, oh, I didn't know, you can say, oh no, we sent the notification out and it's right here on our website. It's right here. This is a sign right here. Okay, so usually people will say they didn't know, and you say, oh, that's, we have it posted right here, or maybe you didn't get the email. Are you sure you're opted into our email address? That's a really good reason to stay opted into our email address or our text notification so you get notifications of these things. Now, the final tip, well, actually not the final tip, the second to final tip is prepare for the conversations, right? This is usually what most people get apprehensive about. They just don't want to have the conversation. They don't want to have conflict. And I used to be the same way. I used to avoid conflict as much as I possibly could. However, if this happens, it's okay. It's okay if people say, oh, I was really, shocked to see you're going to raise prices. I mean, a great response is just, simply, I know it was a really hard decision for us. And we're so happy. We're really grateful that you're, continuing to support us. Right. Or you can train your staff. Like, let's role play. How are we going to prep for these conversations? And honestly, the best thing is just to say, I know, I understand. I really do understand. I hear you. I hear you. It was a very difficult decision for us to make as a business as well. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you for understanding. And if someone doesn't want to pay your new updates, that's okay. It's okay. Don't take it personally, right? If there's ever a situation where someone can't afford it, like, that's a decision you can make as a business owner, but make sure it's truly that they can't afford it and not just that they don't want to. All right. No one's going into the gas stations and saying, well, I don't want to pay this rate, change my gas price. You don't talk to FPL or wherever you are in the country, whatever your utility company is, and be like, I don't want to pay this electricity. They'll just shut your electricity off. Okay. So it's okay. This is where, though, it's really important that we continue to show up as businesses, and I know that you all do, with high quality, high touch options for them. This is why you stay with us, because we can provide you X, Y, Z, da, 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 da. All right. The final tip is sometimes it's great when you can offer an alternative. So for example, maybe you're going to raise prices of a drop-in rate or a single rate, but you give them the opportunity to buy a package at a lower rate. So then they have an option. So let's just say, let me give you a number example. So once again, let's just say really easy. You charge $100 an hour for a one-on-one session, okay? And you're going to go up to $125 for a one-on-one session. You can say, well, our beginning October 30th or 31st, whatever, is our single sessions are going to be $125. However, you can buy a package of 4 for $400 or a package of 5 for $500. So now they're going to pay up front for 5 and they get the same old price point. Or an even better solution is to go to a membership. Well, you can get 4 sessions a month for $400 and it's an auto pay membership. Why do these help? One, auto pay means you don't have to chase people down for money. Okay. Studies have shown that people with auto pays usually pay 10 to 15% more than people with packages. And here's why I'll tell you. Okay. Say you have someone that has an auto pay of $400 a month that gets them 4 sessions. Someone can buy that same package 4 sessions for $400, right? But usually over the course of a year, they will cancel up to 5, 6, 7 appointments, 8 appointments, which means they're going to buy 2 less packages a year. I hope that wasn't too confusing. So if they're on an auto pay and they're at $4,800 a year, right? $4,800 is what they'll get. Now, if they're on a package of $400, but they're going to cancel every 5th visit, then usually what's going to happen is they're going to buy 2 to 3 less packages a year. So maybe they're only spending $3,600 a year versus $4,800. So again, this is why memberships, a membership model, if you can go to that, is really great. And if you have questions about how to implement a membership model, reach out to me. Let me, this is something that I poo-pooed for a long time. I didn't think it was right for our business. I didn't think we could handle it. And again, that was me getting in my own way. And now it's one of the best things we've ever done for our business. But this way you have options. You can tell people, oh, that's not a problem. You don't want to go to a membership? No problem. We can just do 1 by 1. It's $125. And if they say, well, I want to stay my same price. Oh yeah, that's no problem. We have an option for you too. You can do 4 sessions a month for $400. And then if they're like, well, I don't want either option. Well, those are the options that we have. Okay. They're having a choice. They have a choice. It's their choice. It has nothing to do with you. All right. Now, this was something we recently just discussed with someone in our FitBiz Foundations program. So a Pilates studio, and she bought the business out from somebody else. So she kind of inherited their prices. And then when we really did a deep dive into her business, the pricing did not match her expenses, especially what she was paying her team of contractors and the expenses that had really gone up in the last couple of years. So we had been working with her to raise her prices, update her prices, and it wasn't even by very much. And she was really, really apprehensive about it, really apprehensive. And I just continue to work with her and coach her. I didn't push her into this because ultimately this is your decision. And if you don't feel right about it, you're not going to be able to articulate that to your clients. And so you have to be ready to do it. What I'm going to usually do on the background is say, you are ready. You deserve it. You are valuable and you can do it. And she was like, I don't know. And finally she did. And she came to our meeting, I think 2 weeks ago. And she said, I did it. I sent the notification out. It's been over 10 days and I have not received one single pushback. So that's just a little story of usually in most things, this is something I have found in business that most often we become most apprehensive about worrying about things that usually never happen. So we're most apprehensive about talking about our pricing updates because we're afraid people are going to judge us or create conflict. And 90% of the time that doesn't happen. We're afraid to have a conversation with a staff member to hold them accountable because we're afraid of what they're going to say to us and how they're going to push back, which is going to make us feel bad. 90% of the time, they're like, okay, you're right. So we get ourselves all worked up for nothing. And let me just give you that same example. You know, let's say you're a class-based studio. Okay, let's say you're a class-based studio and you have a 10 class package for $300. All right. And you're going to raise it to $325, right? Which is just under 10%, not even that much. All right. So even if, okay, let's just say now you have 300, you're charging 325. Let's say you have 100 clients. Okay. So you're getting $32,000 a month, let's say. Okay. $32,000 a month of people that buy those packages. Now let's say, oh wait, sorry, 300 times 100, it's $30,000 a month. Okay. So now let's say you're going to raise it to 325. And let's say you lose, even if you lose 10 clients decide not to come back. Okay. But you go up to 325. Now you have 90 clients. Okay. You're still at the exact same amount of money. You're at $29,500, right? Now, anytime somebody new comes in, they're already coming in at the price point. So even if you lost 10 clients from that, which is a lot, sometimes we usually lose like 2 or 3, because to be honest, where else are they going to go? Okay. Everyone's raising their prices. Then we have more room then to attract the right people. Not the problem clients, not the difficult clients, the clients that really align with what we're trying to put out in the world, which is a great reason, okay, to open up space for people that are really going to align with your mission, vision, and values and help you get to where you want to be. And that's going to feel more aligned for everyone. All right. So I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I think it's a great topic. If you have any questions, if you're interested in learning how to raise your prices that aligns with what you want to do and what you feel comfortable with, all right, we have our FitBiz Foundations program and our Inner Circle, which is both programs are going to be closing for enrollment October 28th. We're not taking enrollments November, December, or January. So if you would like to get in before the end of the year, or before October 28th, then email me, Krista@pilatesinthegrove.com, DM me over on Instagram so that you can get in now in 2022 at our 2022 pricing. Okay. That's all I got for you, everyone. I have one more request. Okay. One more little request. If you can, take out your phone right now. Hopefully you're listening to it on your phone. Scroll down to the bottom and leave me a rating or a review. It would really, really mean a lot to me. Please, ladies, it's only going to take you 30 seconds, I bet. And it would really mean a lot to me to get some more reviews on there, because it just gets my message out to more women. And I feel like the more money, the more financial freedom, the more financial literacy we put in the hands of women throughout our country, the greater impact we will have on all our families and our communities. And so I'd love for you to help me do that. Okay. And until next Tuesday, everyone, bye for now. Have a good one.